Cool. Did you guys what is it? Did you guys know how Helen Keller got a bruised belly button?
How?
Her boyfriend was blind too.
Wow. So that's how we're gonna start it.
And that life-disturbing moment was brought to you by, of course...
Fleshlight, go fuck yourself. Bringing it back. Alright. Hey guys, welcome back to another Struggle Session podcast. I am Hollow Otaku, and with me I have...
K1.
And Jones K. Irving.
And Hollow Otaku. Thank you, Jones, for joining us today. Just to let you know, we are talking about animes, and if you haven't seen it, spoiler alerts up ahead.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know it was mine, Q. First time here.
Responses, Jones, responses.
But thank you for coming for this podcast.
Sure, anytime.
Today's topics is we're going to jump into a little category of animes. Animes that should get another season.
I.e. ones that were left on huge cliffhangers or had only one season and it has been years before a sequel.
I.e. Hunter x Hunter.
I.e. No Game, No Life.
Yeah.
And Dead Man Wonderland.
Yeah. I don't know what... I know it's all about, the views and, who's watching it, but, you left Hunter x Hunter on a huge cliffhanger that needs to continue. I heard they are continuing with it. That was, 2 years ago.
Well, the thing is, they did have a few new entries in the manga, and then they made another movie. But then, I have full respect for all the manga artists, and I know what they do to make sure that we get new content. But, it was life-threatening. But the real reason that the author of Hunter x Hunter is not continuing so far is because he has lumbago.
Yeah.
I mean, I would understand, when Oda gets sick with One Piece and we have to delay it by 2 weeks, we're cool with that. But then you got lumbago for this many years, and you're saying you're not going to do it? At least let one of your assistants work it out, and then we can figure out where to go with this. Because let's call it Hunter x Hunter is, literally a treasure in itself. And honestly, there's so many more questions we need to answer. There's so many more arcs you can make out of this. And honestly, I just want to see Gon again. That's literally all I want to see before I die.
Yeah. Another reason why Hunter x Hunter is not going to get a second season because Togashi could be, I think he's burned out. Because that's also a common problem with the writers and manga, because same problem happened with the author of Tokyo Ghoul.
Well, yeah. Some of that was a little convoluted, because let's call it, the manga was phenomenal, and they knew when to end it, compared to the anime when they added all that extra crap and, just to get people to watch, i.e. 4 seasons 3 and 4, which honestly had potential, but then you just literally took a web and just but,
with, what was it, Fairy Tail, where they had the long hiatus after midway into the Magic Wizard games, whole ass hiatus, and then it came back and going, hey, we're changing the artwork. And I was like, that's fine, as long as I'm getting my season. And then they got lazy about it. Right up into the end of the season 2, they took half of the episode and made it a recap.
Oh my god, I hate it.
So I had to go, oh cool, here's the theme, and then, alright, cool, there's the transition, and now here's the actual story point, because the rest was a recap. And I was like, I know you're just trying to stretch it, but don't stretch it that much. Don't make it like a filler within a filler.
Well, that's the thing you notice about Fairy Tail. It's sadly, this is the real reason I couldn't get into it. It was story, and, I could get into the story, but then, fan service, just to stretch it out. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm cool with fan service, but you don't need to put so much fan service just to stretch out the story, okay? I understand it. If you just want to be ecchi, just go ecchi. Just do High School DxD style, and then you got me, okay? But then if you're just like pouring in literally more fan service as filler, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna start questioning it.
Yeah, like the end of Fairy Tail was like, all right, we're doing the long mission. I was like, I would really like to see that, but you ended it.
What?
So I mean,
and sadly, Fairy Tail, that ending technically goes with Food Wars, because that the ending, it's like, oh yeah, we took a huge chunk of development and we're gonna put it right at the end of the story, even though we could have put it in the last saga to actually explain everything and make sense of everything. But nah, we're just gonna take that huge chunk of development and throw it right at the end, and then right at the end, we're gonna leave you with another cliffhanger and not even wrap everything up.
yeah.
Yep.
Which is why, listen, for the final season of the anime, I don't care. OVA, just wrap everything up. At least that'll make sense.
Well, I mean, so Flame of Recca,
Oh.
old ass anime, only had a season 1, but the manga continued on and explained a lot of shit. And they thought, oh, let me add an OVA to be the last chapter. And I was like, no, just make the season 2, and then maybe make an OVA. But you know, you made the OVA be canon when OVAs are not supposed to be canon, but they made it canon, and it was the last chapter in the manga to just wrap it up. It's the same on like, well, not the same, but like, you know, No Game No Life. You end season 1, and they thought, oh, let me give you a movie and be like, that should help. It doesn't. Make the goddamn second season.
Well, jumping off that, it did work with something. If you remember Roni Kenshin, you know, before the huge filler arc after the Shishio arc, you know, they actually did make an OVA where they showed the final arc with Kenshin's brother-in-law and all that, and then it actually wraps up with the end of Kenshin's life. But because people didn't want Kenshin to die, they actually made a second OVA in which, oh, once it's all over, Kenshin and Kaoru have a kid, and then it just ends right there. But literally, it took away from the beauty, because in the end of the original OVA, Kenshin literally wanders again, dying by a mysterious illness, and actually comes back to Kaoru, and then dies in her arms, and then the scar he had all the time disappears. So I was like, okay, that's perfect. That's the best way to end it. But because people didn't want Kenshin to die, they just decided to make that OVA and just say, oh yeah, they just have a kid. The end. It's like, what?
It's mostly what, like, I get it, you know, making just an OVA to make up for the reason of, hey, we're being poor on this anime, that we can't make you guys the season 2. But, like, and then years later, people find this anime, and then they start to complain of, why is there no season 2?
I fully agree. So going off that, it definitely goes back when Sci-Fi was playing Anime Mondays, back when I was in high school. You know, they showed me a ton of anime. You know, that's how I found Gurren Lagann. But one of the ones they started off with was called Toko. And it's technically like Demon Slayers, because randomly a hole opens up in Tokyo and a bunch of demons get out and kill a bunch of people, but they also infect a bunch of people with demons.
Yeah.
So, you know, long story short, the people infected by demons become demon slayers and now have to slay all these demons to put this magic box back together to close the portal to the demon world.
Yeah.
And literally, it had a good story, it had good characters, but the ending of season 1 was, oh, you know, as soon as they get a few pieces, oh shit, another portal to the demon world opens as soon as one of their strongest gets knocked unconscious, and then that was it. And then I even looked for the manga, and that's how it also, like, the manga stopped. And I was like, what? Come on. Where's the rest of this? And then I find out it's been, like, a very classic anime. I'm like, oh my god, like, this was good anime. This was good manga. What happened? What happened? So, yeah, I get that, because that's just always been my one that I've always wanted to see the anime.
Any animes that you think that could use another season, that actually needs another season?
The Promised Neverland.
Okay.
Well, for me, I already watched the first season. Beautiful. I'm gonna continue on with the manga sometime later this week, because I can binge read the manga, because the manga already ended. and I literally cannot wait for if the second season comes.
Well, it is rumored, but there's just no date for it right now.
Yeah.
So it technically is getting a second season, but due to Corona right now, everything's up in the air. So I see what you're getting at.
Anything can happen, but
Right.
Except for season 2 of was it High School of the Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just.
No, it's because the writer died.
Well, and no one wants to continue it because technically they even stated, oh, well, why doesn't one of his assistants continue it? And they actually said they had plans to until they actually read his notes, and then they just said, no, we're not touching this.
Yeah.
There was some dark shit ahead, and I'm just like, you know what? Good. Just let Sleeping Dogs lie with that.
I mean, sometimes you need some dark content, in this
Right,
world.
right. But sadly, they just didn't want to go there because they think it would be like an insult to his memory. So sadly, I'm not. I mean, we have High School DxD, so that's making up for it. And technically, the light novels are literally going farther and getting really good. So I can just let that die.
Now, what I'm also waiting on is the final season of Bleach. Like, I get you cut it off on the Executioner arc, but like, you need to continue that. Let it finally finish, and then it can go on with the great ones.
True.
Yeah.
I just hope they actually answer a bunch of questions that the manga didn't answer. So at least they have that going for them. But our boy Mike, he's going to be watching this with like Hawkeyes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the one thing I want to see is, what was the captain's name?
Which ones?
No,
there was tons of captains.
The guy who ruled the captains.
Oh, Yamamoto?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Captain Squad 1, Yamamoto.
Yeah, I want to see his Bankai. Because I don't think they...
Yes, they did.
They did?
Yes,
Okay.
in the manga, spoiler alert, his Bankai is literally, he summons all the people that he has killed, but they're on fire. He summons zombies, fire zombies.
Dude.
He's fucking broken. That was his Bankai. It's like, all the people I have killed is now a fire zombie. And I'm like, what? And they're strong as hell. Yet, spoiler alert, Yamamoto still dies as being broken.
Hey, this isn't isekai. When you're broken, you stay alive and get everything you want. When you're broken in a shonen, you have to die some way.
Yeah. The man dies. And I'm just like, that's a really cool broken Bankai. No wonder your squad won, but like, still.
But, jumping off that. So, like, another thing is, like, we understand that, animes take a lot of money to make. We understand that. It, takes $2 to $5 million to make a season. So we understand that majority of animes, the studio can close or file for bankruptcy. That was one of the main things that happened to a few of our animes. So we understand that. But then, the one thing that gets me out of this whole thing is when the anime does really good, i.e. levels of Demon Slayer, Overlord, Yu Yu Hakusho, those kind of things, like people are going apeshit for it and, they want it. And, some studios go, okay, straight up, y'all liked it, season 2, on an unknown date, but there will be a season 2 or 3 or that kind of thing. But then there's times when it just holds it right at the end and doesn't say anything. It's just like, technically, Overlord, we're still waiting for Overlord season 4, but we've had this isekai little spinoff where we had Overlord, Tanya the Terrible, Res Zero, and Kasuba, and the crossover between them. And, that did well. They got a season 2. That did well again. They're getting a season 3. But then Res Zero's getting a season 2. Tanya Terrible's been rumored for season 2. Kamasuba is finished up, if you read the light novels. But we're still in the dark about Overlord. And I'm like, come on. Overlord was doing well. Seasons 2 and 3 were phenomenal. Give us season 4. So I'm just trying to figure out what are they waiting for to do season 4 of Overlord.
Jumping back onto the Bleach train. Whoop whoop. I'm gonna be very very mad if even we get the final season, add a filler arc. Filler arcs are there to make sure the manga goes a bit farther than the anime. And I swear to God, if there is a filler arc, I'm gonna be like, why? Because it's already done.
Yeah, because that's something else. Like it's like if Demon Slayer, Demon Slayer's finished, so there needs to be no filler arcs. Like everything after the movie just needs to be straightforward story. You don't need any filler or none of that. Same with Dead Man Wonderland. Rest in peace to the author. Sadly, which really sucked. The reason they never got a season 2 was respect to the author, because then she was pregnant, then she died, which really sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't not know about that.
Yeah, so the real reason they never got a season 2 for Dead Man Wonderland was the author got pregnant and, took a break, and then sadly she died. So, respect to her, but I don't think we'll make a Dead Man Wonderland season 2. But the manga's phenomenal. You definitely got to read it. The manga's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And the opening is one of the most badass hardcore rock songs ever.
Yeah. And plus, the life of mangaka is truly hard because Togashi almost died while writing Yu Yu Hakusho. Oda has been hospitalized several times. Yeah.
That is the reason why when your favorite manga takes a break, you let them take a break as long as they can. And we show respect to all the authors for letting us be able to read your manga free of charge or pay for it, depending on how you do it. But still, mainly it's artists like them that allow us to actually enjoy those.
Also, shout outs to the author and the artist for Detective Conan that's still going strong. And please, for the love of God, find an ending. Because I can't tell if I'm reading a filler case or this is actually part of the goddamn story. You can milk this as much as you want. Alright?
But Detective Conan needs to end.
Well, I'm not saying that. I love it. Yes. But, I need closure before I die.
Yes, I agree there. Listen. I technically count everything with the Black Organization as the full story. Everything with Detective Boys I technically push into the filler department. But, everything with the Black Organization, I just consider the main story. Because that's literally the chapters that get me going. And now, yes, literally, seeing as how close you are, trust me, we already know who the head of the Black Organization is. I won't say, just to keep people guessing, but come on. Sadly, we have the literal lock of Ren and Saichi's relationship. We're getting close to that climax. And let's face it, majority of mangas are ending. Fire Force, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs and all that. I'm just like, come on. I've enjoyed Detective Conan 100%. Will always be one of my favorite animes. Was one of the most accidental animes I met when I was just staying up really late one day and actually saw it at 1:30 at night on Adult Swim. But come on, it might be time to put an end to it. I don't mind if there's a spinoff or anything, but might be.
There is a spinoff. Now, back on topic, I need a season 2 of it. Kaito Kid.
Big facts.
Very true.
Because that was really good and well done, and it deserves a season 2.
Well, one thing else that I also want if there's going to ever be another crossover series, they had made one episode of it. It was on OVA, but it still was good. Detective Conan versus Lupin III.
Oh, I fucking love that, dude.
That was amazing. That definitely could be a good series. That would be literally the immovable force meeting the immovable object, and that could be a whole series, especially what they've done with Lupin III in the recent series.
I need a Lupin III versus Detective Conan versus Kaito Kid.
Yes,
that would be very interesting,
right?
It would.
Because it's literally Conan trying to solve this murder while we have two thieves trying to take from each other.
That would be just the greatest triangle But do you think you could add one more person? It's just because we know Kaito Kid has both sides of the coin. He's a detective / a thief. He's the middle ground between them. We know Lupin's a thief, Conan is a detective, but Kaito Kid is technically a detective. And
technically, Kaito Kid just gets really lucky because he's there when it happens, and he's just like, right, I'm gonna hold this.
Right, but just like he's the like I said, he walks the line. He doesn't decide to be bad. He doesn't decide to be good. He just says, "I'm just that guy in the middle."
Yeah. But it would be interesting.
I would definitely, at least a movie of that.
I need to catch up on the movies. Any other anime needs a new season?
Well, Monster Musume needs another season, but I know it's not gonna happen, even though both the fans and the author Okada wants it.
Well, mainly with the Sentai movement and their studios, because I know they've been literally harvesting money. Because technically, every time I see Sentai on like Facebook or any kind of advertisements, it's always a sale. So they are really hurting for money. So until they get their finances or they sell it to another
Company.
another animation studio, we're not getting that.
Alright, I guess on that note, that is it for today's podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and always remember to keep moving forward.
And wear a damn mask.
See you guys later.
See ya.